Hey, what's up, guys? Nick here with Overage Syndicate, and wanted to shoot this quick video for you, kind of going over what is the overage or surplus funds business, and how exactly can it help you in your life. Um, this may be a review for many of you, but I wanted to make this video for those that are just getting into this space, maybe just learning about this business, and just give you a quick overview and some of the ways that this business may be able to benefit you in your life. So that's why I'm making this. Let's jump right into it. I'll go over quickly first, what is the overage or surplus funds business? So basically, what this business is we are helping homeowners who have lost their home to a tax or mortgage foreclosure auction. Now, I'll quickly explain what those are. A tax sale or a tax auction is when somebody loses their property because they quit paying property taxes. The laws allow, county governments to be able to auction real estate in order to recoup the property taxes owed to the county. And so they'll sell houses at auctions for people to bid and to buy. Mortgage foreclosure is just when somebody quits paying their mortgage or they quit paying the bank. And so the bank then has a right to sell that property to recoup the money that they're owed on the loan or the mortgage. So that's a tax and a mortgage foreclosure. Sometimes what happens at these sales or these auctions is these properties sell for more than what is owed to either the bank or to the county government for the property taxes. So when that happens, the difference, the leftover money, should go back to the previous homeowner. Here's a live example right here. This house went to a foreclosure auction and it sold. And then when all was said and done, there was an extra $11,000 left over. And so this money, we actually helped the homeowner get back. We did all the work and paid all the costs, such as legal fees. And then we just got a percentage. We got a commission for our efforts. And so this is a real life example of how this works. When properties sell for more than what is owed to the bank or the county, that money should go back to the homeowner. Our service is to help the homeowner recover those funds by doing the work and paying the fees and legal costs associated with that. And if we are successful, then we take a percentage of the amount recovered. So that is what the overage or surplus funds business is. It's a service-based business helping people recover money that belongs to them. Now, there's a lot of questions that may come with that. This video isn't going to go into all the details about that, but there are lots more videos about how this all works. And I'm going to be sending out, depending on where you're watching this, if you got an email or you're watching this on the YouTube, there's going to be more follow-up to this video where I'm going to explain the 5-step process of how this business works. But that's for another day. But stay tuned for that. Either subscribe to the YouTube channel or subscribe to the email. Now, how can this business help you in your life? Let's go over 7 ways it can do that for you right now. And this is based on my personal experience and how it's helped me personally, and how it's helped many of my students, and so I know it can help you as well. So let's jump into this. Reason number 1 is it can create an extra source of income for you. This source of income may allow you to quit your current job or business, could allow you to pay off debt. It could help you supplement your retirement, pay for dream vacations. In essence, it could basically help you get closer to financial freedom. You'll see these pictures here below. This picture right here on the left, oops, not a techie. I'm not a techie guy, so forgive me. This picture on the left is a picture of a prison block at the Utah State Prison where I used to work. I used to be a corrections officer before I got involved in this business of overages and surplus funds. And I actually worked this block along with several other blocks. I worked in maximum security, general population, all of the different areas. If you've ever been to Alcatraz, all of these cell doors actually operate on a lever system. So it's pretty old school. But this is where I used to work. I used to work 12-hour graveyard shifts, working $16 an hour. Until finally I was able to discover this business of overages and surplus funds. And ultimately, it allowed me to quit my job. This picture in the middle is a picture of an Airbnb in Bali, Indonesia. And I saw this picture one day on Airbnb, and I said to myself, one day I'm going to go there. This picture on the right, you can't really see it. Obviously, this isn't a professional photo because it's not high quality, but my wife took this picture, and you can see my little silhouette here. Right here, that's me standing on this exact pool that I said that I would go to. So this business has allowed me to do that. It's allowed me to quit my job as a corrections officer. It allowed me to, visit over 10 countries the last couple of years with my family. And so whatever it is for you, whatever your goals and your dreams are, this business can help you obtain those dreams and goals. Reason number 2, this business allows you to work from home, which then allows you to control your time. For me, this is probably the most important aspect. This picture right here on the left, this is a typical morning for me, is making breakfast for my son. Obviously, we've got Elmo in the background. And this is more than the money. This is meaningful for me as being able to control my time. This other picture is us, at 1 in the afternoon, me and my wife and our dog going to visit the duck pond by our house. So this business allows you to work from home. It allows you to set your own schedule and control your time. For me, gone are the days where I work 12-hour graveyard shifts and fight rush hour traffic. I no longer have to wake up to an alarm. I wake up when I want, I work when I want, and then I also spend time with those that I love when I want and do the things that I want. So that's the other way this business can help you. Control your time. Now, if you're already in real estate, one thing I will say is I have done other real estate strategies. I've owned a rental property. I've dealt with tenants. I've done wholesale deals. I was a real estate agent at one point in time. My journey has been one where I've tried many different things in real estate, and maybe you have too. Maybe you are in wholesaling, maybe you're in fix and flipping, maybe you have some rentals, maybe you're a real estate agent as well. Whatever it is, many strategies in real estate. Number 1, they cost a lot of money, and number 2, there's a lot of risk involved in those strategies. This strategy of overages and surplus funds allows you to mitigate these risks and mitigate avoid the costs of other strategies because 1, you're not buying property, so you don't have to come up with money to buy property. 2, you're never, obviously if we're not buying property, then we're not renting it out, so we're not dealing with tenants. We don't have to worry about people destroying our properties or, in my experience, having a pet cat living in the back room and having the tenant throw their cigarette butts in the sink. That was my experience. We don't have to deal with contractors that are trying to, pull one over on us, and, we don't have to pay for expensive repairs. If we're borrowing money to pay for, properties, we don't have to deal with that. We don't have, because we're not buying anything. We are just performing a service for people and helping them recover this money. And so we don't have to deal with all these other things that other real estate investors have to deal with, having to pull permits with the city, all the other stress and anxiety that comes with those strategies. Those don't exist with surplus funds and overages. They just don't. Number 4, you can actually profit from your competition. Well, what do I mean by this? If you're in real estate, if you're a real estate agent, you know how competitive it is. If you're a wholesaler, you know how competitive it is. I was talking to a listing agent the other day in Maryland, and he was telling me how he has to talk to 300 or 400 potential sellers before he gets a listing. Crazy. I've talked to wholesalers who say they have to talk to, 100 potential leads before they get one deal. And they're fighting all the other wholesalers. I've done wholesaling, and what I found is there's a lot of competition. Same with real estate agents. If you're a realtor, you get to compete with hundreds, maybe even thousands of other realtors in your state. Not fun. But with this strategy, you actually get to profit from your competition. So here's an example. This house went to foreclosure. The amount owed to the bank was $150, and the investor that bought this property at auction, they paid $170,000 in cash for it. So there was, and after attorney's fees, there's about $23,000 left over. This is the amount that we recovered. Our net profit on this deal was $10,000. So a net profit of $10,000, I'll take that if I don't have to buy a house, if I don't have to come up with $170,000 in cash, if I don't have to fix up a property, I'll take that $10,000 all day. Now, maybe the investor made a bigger profit than me. They probably did, but at what cost? And at what risk too? I'm cool with taking a smaller cut if I don't have to risk my own money and I don't have to deal with the headaches of rehabbing a property and then selling it and all of that stuff. So that's another thing is, and obviously he's my competition. This investor paid for this house, but I don't care. I let them pay for the house, buy the house. I'll just go help the homeowner recover the leftover money, and that's where I make my profit. I also like that there's not a lot of expenses. Our expenses were less than $500 on this particular deal. There was a filing fee of $50, and then we had to pay an attorney a couple hours of their time. I just paid them their hourly rate because it was cheaper that way, and so it worked out well. So you can profit from your competition by letting them buy houses that they want to buy anyway. And what I found is there's not as much people doing this as there, compared to wholesalers and real estate agents, very saturated markets. I haven't found this to be, there is competition in this niche, I'm not going to lie, but I haven't found it to be as rough as wholesaling or being a real estate agent. Number 5, this is a recession-proof business. It's a recession-proof strategy. There's low overhead, high profit. Remember here, our net profit was $10,000. Our expenses were $500. Even if my expenses were $1,000 or $2,000, I would happily give $1,000 or $2,000. I'd give that up today to make $10,000 next month. And I'll do that as many times as I can. So low overhead, high profit, recession proof. What do I mean by that? Well, foreclosures and tax sales happen for a lot of reasons, but the main reasons is 1, people get divorced. 2, they suffer some sort of personal disaster. Could be natural disasters, but it could also be a financial disaster, bankruptcy or something, or extreme amount of debt. Another thing is medical disaster. People have medical emergencies. They're not able to pay their medical bills. And so sometimes they have to make a decision. Do I pay my mortgage or do I pay this medical bill so that I can continue to live? It's very unfortunate that that happens, but it happens, and it happens every day. And then, of course, people die. This is one of the biggest causes of foreclosure. People die. They don't have their affairs in order. They don't have anyone to take care of the house, or it's not listed in their will, or they don't have a will, and the property goes to foreclosure. It happens every single day. So as long as people, continue to get divorced, continue to suffer hardship and disaster, and people continue to die, then this business will continue to exist. As far as recession proof, foreclosures always happen in an up or down market. And so as long as foreclosures occur, this business will be around. Number 6, this business is fun. What do I mean by that? It's this business, you kind of get to play Sherlock Holmes and Robin Hood at the same time. Now, disclaimer, we're not robbing anything, we're not stealing from the government, but what we are doing is helping recover money that is owed to homeowners. What happens is the government, they put this money into a trust account usually, and they get to earn interest on this money. And if they earn interest, they get to keep the interest. So that's what I have here is this is the a sample report of how much money is being held in one state in the United States. These are all from mortgage foreclosures. These are all leftover funds. You can see here there's over $200 million in one state. You can see there's also interest that's being accrued on this principal. This interest, government gets to keep it. So you can see here, if they're keeping all this interest, this is a revenue source for the government. And they're not going to take drastic measures to try to fine the homeowners and give them back their money, because that's not in their best interest. If they're making money, why would they try to fine the homeowner to give them back their money, even though it belongs to them? And they just aren't, because they have an interest in it, a financial interest. It's not a good way that the system's set up, but that is the way it is. And so what we get to do is we get to be Sherlock Holmes and find these people who are owed money. And then we get to be Robin Hood, and we get to take, by legal means, of course, we get to submit claims and recover these funds and give it back to the homeowner. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun playing Sherlock Holmes and Robin Hood at the same time. And finally, the last reason is you actually make a difference while making a profit, and that's a win-win. Obviously, if you're a real estate agent, you're trying to convince people to let you handle their greatest asset. If you're a wholesaler, you're trying to convince homeowners to sell you their home at a discount, when deep down you know that they could probably get a lot more if they just used an agent or if they just sold it themselves. That's not really a good service. That's kind of real estate in a lot of ways creates win-lose situations, unfortunately. But that's why I like this strategy, is it's a win-win. We help the homeowner get their money back. If we're successful, we get a percentage. If we're not successful, they owe us nothing. We're never asking for money up front. We never charge anything up front. So I love this story right here. This was a deal that I did. We recovered $42,000. Our net profit was only $8,000 on this deal, approximately $8,000. So our commission was only 20% on this deal. However, what I love about this is the homeowners, when they received this check, they actually worked out a deal with the investor that bought their house at the auction. And they were able to negotiate some arrangement where they bought their house back from the investor. So they actually, even though an investor bought their house at foreclosure auction, they never had to vacate the property. They never had to move, because this check helped them negotiate something with the investor. Doesn't happen all the time, but it happened in this case. And it made a real difference in their life. And there's several other stories that I could tell you where this money, this unexpected money, has made a difference in somebody's life. And so it's a win-win situation. You really are making a difference. So those are 7 ways, again, that this overage and surplus funds business can help you. Again, create an extra source of income, help you control your time. You don't have to deal with the risk and stress of other real estate strategies. You don't need a lot of money to get started in this business, because you're not buying property. You can profit from your competition. It's recession proof with low overhead and high profit. Remember this, the expenses. It's very rare that my expenses are over $2,000 in a case. And my average net profit is between $5,000 and $10,000. So that's a good return, at least in my eyes. It's fun. You get to play Sherlock Holmes and Robin Hood, and you get to make a difference. So I hope that helps you. If you want more information and more free content, check out my YouTube channel, Overage Syndicate. There's lots of free videos about this business. I go into the pros and the cons, you know, the nitty gritty and everything. Share my experience with you. You can also join my email list where I send out emails occasionally, overagesyndicate.com. So I hope this helps, especially if you're just kind of researching and getting into this business. And I'll continue to create content and send out content via YouTube and my email list. And I hope this was valuable for you. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.